Well, we'll start the program on the good note with good news. And the queen of the tracks, Toby Amushan, has qualified for the semi-finals in her heats, the 100 meters semi-finals at the ongoing Paris Olympics. Maybe some sort of succor for all of the losses we've been experiencing so far. But then it's a way to start the program on the good note. And I'm excited to have the governor on the program today. I mean, you can imagine what it's been like. He's been around the world. You can say, but I do have the buddy, the man, the governor right here seated with me. My name is TC Byra. Welcome to SOUQ Sports. And this is SOUQ News Television. The governor.
Good afternoon. I think it's afternoon for those in Nigeria, and for those in Paris, it's also afternoon. It's just a few hours.
But then in the US, you could say good morning.
Yeah, good morning. For those in Australia, well, we don't know which day you are right now, but do have a beautiful day. It's always a pleasure being on SOUQ Sports, and TC has been. He's just not holding the fort, but he's taking the baton and he's running way ahead. Thank you very much.
That sounds like 4x400 meters.
You almost said barricade. I thought you were going to say
like 4x400 meters. We're just two on the show, so it's maybe 2x200 meters. And we're going all the way together on this. But then we'll start off with the local scene. Okay. Let's start off with the NPFL, where movement across the chess table. I've taken upon myself to bring you up to speed and keep you abreast with what's happening in the Nigerian Professional Football League. So former NPFL champions, Kano Pillars, have unveiled a popular name, Usman Abdallah, as their new technical advisor, a 2-year contract with the club, and the deal comes with a possibility of a year extension. He does have an impressive track record that includes the NPFL title, but then with Enyimba International back then in 2019, and then he went on to help Katsina United secure promotion to the NPFL. He is one of the biggest coaches, one of the best hands when it comes to the league, and does possess a UEFA A license. So we're looking forward to the commencement of the league. Ceteris paribus, all things being equal, the league will commence on the 31st of August. I don't know if there's going to be a change in dates, just like we have with the EPL. We'll talk about that in a bit. But then Kano Pillars will be facing Ikorodu City FC, newly promoted side, who we're going to be, would I say fanning? That's the local balance. You're a fan of a club. So they fan this club?
Yeah, it now depends. Is it the 3-wing fan or the ceiling fan or the standing fan?
Coupe fan.
That's a big congratulations to
Usman
Abdallah. But the thing is he a congratulations? Because he's that kind of silent person that he just does the job without talking.
He's been there over the years, so... but then I think we should say congratulations to Kano Pillars.
Yes, to Kano Pillars for landing him.
Yes.
And I think the league has gotten to a stage where we should be celebrating our coaches.
I don't think they have enough flowers in the garden to celebrate these men. But here's another thing. In comparison to what is obtainable outside the shores of Nigeria and other developed countries, you put them side by side and you feel they might not be able to perform at that stage.
Did you think so?
That's what.
Remember,
that's the school of thought.
We had a Sunday only say.
Oh yeah.
That went
even
to
Emmanuel
coach.
Amuneke. Finidi George has been there.
And they did
Daniel
well.
Mokachi.
It's just majorly the politics that they are scared of.
Yeah.
Because when the politics of race starts playing her cards, our people just fumble. They run. Why, I don't know.
Well, Emmanuel Amuneke has run back to Nigeria, and he has an immediate task to help Heartland Football Club secure promotion to the Nigerian Professional Football League. He was officially appointed the new head coach of the Nazi Millionaires and was unveiled by the state governor himself, Opus Odimma, maybe part of his Hopism campaign at his office in Owerri. So they'll be looking for an immediate return to NPFL. But there were talks that Heartland International had taken the spot of Beyond Limits, which is a sister club to Remo Stars, and that they had paid as much as 500 million to secure that spot. So that's still whisperings and conversations with the grapevine. There's not been an official statement by the NPFL. So the immediate return to the NPFL for Emmanuel Amuneke, which is a task, is it that he's going to play the NNL or they will buy their way into the NPFL? That's like the main.
The question now should have been, how much did you call again?
500 million.
How much is the league itself?
Beyond limit, that's serious. Okay, but then there's a conflict of interest. Beyond
But
limit,
you understand where I'm
yes,
going
I
to?
do. How much is the league itself that you secure this a spot with 500? The prize money is about 200 million.
Okay.
So should that spot be as much as 500 million?
Should it be as much as 100 in the first place?
You have a point. See why they call you the governor.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Lobby Stars of Makurdi will battle newly promoted NPFL side Nasra United, the Solid Miners, in a Grade A preseason friendly, according to the club. That derby is part of preparations ahead of the NPFL 2024-2025 season and will take place on the 8th of August. If you're wondering, if you're in Nigeria, it's tomorrow. If you're in West Africa, it's tomorrow. I don't know where you are. If you're in Australia, you'll be calculating it must have happened. Okay, so it will be at 3 p.m. Divine Mercy Minor Seminary, which is opposite Towering Third School in Kasho, Makurdi, Benue State. And there's going to be a return leg, so it's two-legged Friday at 3 p.m. at the Lafia City Stadium, Nasarawa. So preparations and top gear, and all these teams have to be in top shape as well as their players. Talking about movements in the MPFL, Ismail Sadiki is on the brink of making a move to MPFL. Former champions Eimba, he was spotted during their preseason training with Eimba International. You know, he had a contract with Bendel Insurance. He was one of their highest goal scorers, you know, for Bendel Insurance. But I'm sure because of the fact that Eimba will be playing Continental, they would want to get all personnel, yeah, within their arsenal to, not Arsenal Football Club, by the way.
It could be. It could be.
Within the arsenal to be able to prosecute the continental engagements that they have. So, Sadiki, we're hoping that you get to finalize the deal, put pen to paper. But the problem we have with some of these deals is they don't tell us how much. It's recently we started hearing how long.
Who gets what?
Or how many years, but how much? Is it monthly? Is there a sign-on fee? Are there add-ons? When will we get there?
Very soon.
I'm hoping.
Very, very soon. Once we start getting that management part of it right, it's just a matter of time. And get professionals that want to just focus on management. We'll get there. And also when these players are well taken care of, they'll be able to come out on their own and brag about how much they earn.
Yeah. We don't even need to start waiting for the details to... All right. So, Ladan Boso, we're not sure of the details of your contract as well, but you've been given a target. We hear by the Bayelsa State government to ensure that they finish tops and, of course, play continental. Recall that Bayelsa United avoided relegation narrowly, and the new coach, Ladan Boso, who I hear is the chairman of coaches in Nigeria. In the coming season, he's going to help Bayelsa secure a continental football ticket, which is the target that's been given to him. So the last time out, this is like a return for him to Bayelsa United. He was able to guide the Yenagoa-based outfit to a third-place finish in the NPFL. No newcomer, Ladan Boso, worked with young boys over the years. I think even had national engagements. Yeah. So we've seen a lot of national coaches come back into the league. It makes a lot of sense to make it thick.
Yeah. Also remember they have bills to pay. So if there is no job out there, they have to get busy.
But then doesn't it worry you we're not having a young crop of coaches coming up and it's still the same old names that we seem to be recycling?
The young ones are there, but their names are not heard.
Oh, yeah.
That's
just like Ofo, who was given a job in Kano and was taken off 1 month later. Sadly, assistant coach to...
I think the name followed him.
Okay, Jidof,
okay.
All right, so let's go to Paris and bring some love to you from Paris with love. Juvie abandoned us at the Eiffel Tower, enjoying himself. But all the same, I'll do the needful and what it is to bring you up to speed what's happening in the Olympics, some of the highlights of that sporting event. The biggest, as it's dubbed, in the world. The youngest Chinese Olympian, yes, born on the penultimate day of the London 2012 Olympics, has become China's youngest Olympian, talking about none other than Zheng Hao. Among the competitors in the women's skate skateboarding park in Paris, which also featured Sky Brown, who is a skateboarder with Great Britain team. Zheng scored a best of 63.19 to finish 18th in the preliminary round, missing out on the final, sadly. But that was won by Australia's Arisa Thru, who is 14 years old, by the way. And for someone who has only taken skateboarding at the age of 7, she leaves France as one of the youngest Olympians of all time. Yet she still has a reason to celebrate. Despite not qualifying for the final, she will turn 12 this week, Sunday.
She will be 12 on Sunday, which means by the time the next Olympic clocks 12, she'll be 16. And she'll be very good and good to go.
Mathematics.
So you just imagine what she will do.
How did you calculate all of that?
+4.
Okay, the code is +234. We're reaching you from Lagos, Nigeria, right here in Africa. And then we'll tell you that the South American Giants team, Brazil, trashed world champions Spain 4-2 to set up a repeat of the 2008 Olympic women's football final against the United States in Paris this weekend. On Saturday, Spain will now have to play Germany for the bronze medal in Lyon on Friday. I mean, okay, so if Nigeria had qualified, would have still,
it's still
difficult.
Yeah, it's same group.
It's going to be hard, though. Really hard for us to have gotten to this particular, because I'm seeing Brazil is on fire. In Igbo, you say hot chocolate.
But the thing is, the last time I tried counting, how many players were on the pitch? 11 of them.
So it should be like matched equal strength.
Yeah, I won't say equal strength.
No, match the woman to woman. Woman to woman, not man to man this time around.
This is where exposure and experience now counts.
Yes.
And also who is the coach.
And I think you might describe that as the undoing of the Super Falcons. Despite the fact that Randy Waldrum has attributed his misfortune and that of the Super Falcons to injury and a lack of preparation. I think the later is even what it is. Because if you fail to plan...
Of course, yes. Now, you've already planned to fail.
So you can imagine the preparations that have gone into the competition as a whole, and all the teams, what they've done to get to this stage, and then you're just having players camp for just a few weeks and you expect that magic would happen. It's not Magic Johnson, it's not basketball. But then Team Nigeria has faced a setback in their pursuit for medals at the ongoing Paris Olympic Games. And, Tuesday, I think that was yesterday, prospects, we had some expectations. Favor Ofili, who put up a good performance in the women's 200 meters final, ended up in 6th position. And then you have Blessing Oborududu losing in the bronze medal match, not getting a podium finish of the women's 68 kg freestyle wrestling. That has left Nigeria without a medal 4 days. Olympic done the finish till the end of the tournament.
We are still praying. We are still praying and hoping that Toby will rescue the children of God.
Well, congratulations to her for making it to the semi-final. But before we talk about Toby Amushin, Thomas did clinch the gold with a time of 21.83 seconds. That's in Opheli's category. Julie Alfred secured second place with a time of 22.08 seconds, while Brittany claimed the third spot with a time of 22.20 seconds. And despite running a new season's best of 22.05 in the event and making it to the final, she was unable to secure a medal. So she even did better.
Yeah, her timing was not bad.
Yeah, but
her timing was not bad. Just 0.001.
Exactly, and you just understand that it's hard luck. Try better. At the end, if you had put up the video of her coming to the dressing room, you see her wailing.
Now, another thing is this: what's the mindset of your athletes?
Yeah.
When we found out, or when she found out that she was not going to compete in the 100 meters, that weighed on her heavy.
At first,
and till now,
on her.
So you can see that.
Hence, I think the emotions that she put out there.
It's not easy to let go after preparing for more than 2-3 years to qualify for an event, only to discover that negligence from people who are supposed to know better. No.
Well, Blessing Oborududu was one person we had our hopes high for in the 68-kilogram freestyle wrestling. She faced Japan's Noroka Ozaki, and this came after her narrow 3-1 defeat to Merim of Kyrgyzstan in the semifinals. But then she was shy of a podium finish, and it feels really sad anyway. But then someone competing under the American flag, a Nigerian, Annette Neka, seemed to have taken social media by storm. The fact that she had visited Nigeria for the first time in 2021 after opting to represent the country. But then something happened, and eventually, she was disqualified and decided to switch allegiance. Now, Annette went on to represent United States in the women's hammer throw and won gold.
I wish I can speak to this. But these are some of those things that when you see it, you ask yourself, who exactly are these officials who have in this glass house?
Ophelia had the same problem, of non-registration, not meeting up with set rules and all of the standards. And, the Olympic is very, very tricky, and you just have to keep up with those rules and those standards that's been set. It's the highest of them. It's not the Oregon, it's not the, the heat.
It's not any of the meets.
This is the highest stage. And so imagine someone becoming disqualified at this stage of the competition or at this level of your career, which is, how it used to be when you've won a gold medal. You pride yourself that you're like a professor in academics or something like that. And then you're doing that on another flag, flying the American flag. And so netizens have dragged the Nigerian authorities back, left, center, coming at a time when we don't even have one medal.
We'll be happy if we see faces of those we are dragging, so we can drag them home. That will make my day, because you can't take your irresponsibility and rub it off someone else's career. That is bad.
Capital letter. Well, Nigeria's Samuel Ogazi has become the first Nigerian athlete in 36 years since the great Innocent Amuneke to qualify for the 400 meters final of the Olympic Games. He ran the race of his life. You could call him Fidipidis because he ran a new personal best of 44.41 seconds to finish third in the third heat of the 400 meter semis and booked a spot in the final. So there were 2 spots available for non-automatic qualifications, and our boy was able to sneak in there. Ogazi reminds me of the egg, Aqua Ogazi.
Now he should better roll faster than that Aqua Ogazi we are talking about, because as we speak right now, our hope is resting on them.
Yes, indeed. So as the 2024 Paris Games enter its 12th day, Team Nigeria is set to compete in a series of exciting events across athletics. We're supposed to be joined by an international sports podcaster based in the United States, so I want to get confirmation that he's standing by. But then the Tigress will be facing the United States in a thrilling quarterfinal matchup, and Ogazi will attempt to win the medal in the men's 400 meters final event. Queen of the tracks, Oluwa Tobi Loba Amushin, competed in heat 1 of the women's 100 meters hurdle, and this is her trying to win her first Olympic medal. She won the 100 meters heat with 12.49 seconds on the clock in the women's 100 meters hurdle. And congratulations.
No. Leave the congratulations, yes. Please. Let's
not jinx it.
Thank you very much. Let's just hold it and keep it in our pockets. But did you watch that race?
I just saw highlights of it, clips of it. You could see the passion, you could see the energy. And it's someone who I'm sure...
Talk about the gap. Talk about the gap, because we want to see that gap.
Yeah.
Finals, semi-finals, finals. We want to see that gap. Other athletes need to see her back.
So the Nigerian track and field events continue. We're going into day 12 of the events. There are a lot of events scheduled for today. Chike, can you take that? We have events running, full lineup at the Stade de France, men's 800 meters final. We're supposed to bring you up to speed with that. We'll monitor that and find out how it's going. Later on tonight, it's going to be Ezekiel Nathaniel taking part in the men's 400 meters hurdle semi-final. In the men's 200 meters semi-final, Udodi Chudi Onwuzurike is going to be at after 7. In the women's 400 meter semi-final, Ella Onjujewevo, I think that's a Delta name. In wrestling, the Champ de Mars Arena, it's going to play host to the women's 53 kg quarterfinal. That's one of it. Christiana Tolokwe Ogushoya will be taking on Kulan. And in the cycling track, we do have the Velodrome The Saint in Quentin being the center of the venue for the women's first round. And Esse will be taking part in that. Basketball, women's quarterfinals at the Marai Stadium, 8:30 p.m. Nigeria versus United States. We do have El Papi Kadash Anya joining us on the program all the way from the United States. He is a sport podcaster. Well, I say there was an evolution from journalism to podcasting, and he decided not to leave the game because of the love of it. A very good morning to you, El Papi. It's still morning at your end. El Papi, can you hear me? Unmute your microphone. Okay, so while El Papi is trying to fix his audio, boxer Emmanuel Khalif will fight for an Olympic gold medal on Friday after putting aside the rows surrounding her eligibility to comprehensively win her semi-final against Janjem in Paris. The Algerian welterweight is one of those two boxers competing in Paris despite being disqualified from last year's World Championship by the International Boxing Association after she was reported to have failed gender eligibility test. What happened in the last bout when she faced the Italian, and after 46 seconds, she ran. That's the way I want to describe it.
Who ran?
The Italian ran. She felt like she was beaten by a man. And now the man has won and has, well, in quotes.
Now, this is the part I don't understand. The championship before the Olympics,
She was disqualified.
So
it's not the same persons who are, how do I describe it now? Like panel of judges of some sort.
Rules are rules. If your testosterone level is higher than the percentage that is recommended, you're disqualified.
Well, what side are you on?
I'm on the side of the rules.
So she has the basic morphology of a woman.
You've seen her there.
That's what the International Organizing Committee came out to say. She was inspected, she was examined. And there's no doubt that she is a woman.
Okay, so
she might just
the
be
result,
a woman.
They should have just shown us the result.
Look at her morphology or the result?
No, publish the results. Publish our biochemistry. Let's see it on paper.
Kido, are you joining us? I don't want to be drawn into this argument. Okay. El Papi, if you can hear me, it would be great to have you get into the conversation now.
We need to go back to that argument.
Okay.
You can't tell me her hormones level is that high and she's competing with fellow. It's not fair.
Well, for all it's worth, you take a look at the person's physical attributes. Yes. Basic biology would say this is the male genitalia, the female genitalia, and then she has the female genitalia. She possesses mammary glands, and at that point,
I possess mammary glands too.
Oh goodness,
Governor! Yes.
Are we going to do
it? Now depends on the percentage of the glands. Where does it tilt to?
Well, yes. Well, I mean, there was a different assessment for the Olympics, and she passed that. You know how you tried to say he failed doping test 2 seasons ago, and you passed it?
We've also seen doping tests that were tainted.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. So why not the IOC just okay, enough of this argument. Here
is the result.
Yeah, here are the results. We've published it. Go see for yourself. It's just a paper, just a piece of paper.
All right, we do have Kano standing by. El Papi Kadash Anya is a US-based sports podcaster. you went from journalism to something else. Now I don't know if I'll call you a government worker or a civil servant, how you describe it over there, but then I know you continue to love the game, and I've seen a couple of your podcasts, and I know you've been very huge on the performance of Nigerians, especially at the Paris Olympics. And so I want to find out what your assessment. You saw Dudu shy of a podium finish. Toby Amushin qualifying for a final. We also have Ofili, finishing sixth, and it feels like once again we're going to be turning to the Paralympians for anything that has to do with medals in this particular tournament or in this particular event. What are your thoughts?
Well, if you ask me, I'll say we've done badly as a country, as a contingent, we've done badly. And that is because of poor management. I put the blame on the doorstep of the sports ministry and the AFN, so to speak. We know that we have an advantage when it comes to track and field, and we didn't do anything in the last 4 years to prepare for this Olympics. A sad one for Philly, given the fact that she was meant to be in the 100 meters, but couldn't make it to the 100 meters because of incompetence on the part of the AFN and then the local organizing committee, because those are the people I'm going to blame, expressly for what happened to that girl. If you saw the video after the 200 meters, she was crying profusely, lamenting that she was tired. That broke my heart. To work very hard, most times sponsoring yourself to tournaments and then paying for your own training to get to the point where the only thing the AFN needed to do was just to put her name because she already qualified for the event, and they failed to do that. I'm surprised nobody has lost his or her job yet. I'm surprised the Minister of Sports hasn't come out to say anything to condemn what happened and to take ownership of or responsibility, accountability of what happened. So that's to tell you, that's I post, basically the lackluster, attitude. We as Nigerians, because I'm going to group everybody together, that we have towards preparing for things like the Olympics. This is the greatest sporting event in the whole world, and Nigeria, with over 200 million people, came to the tournament unprepared. That's crazy. The only good note in all of this is the history making the Tigress. All right, those bunch of queens have basically put our name on the map of basketball, the global map of basketball. It's going to be a tough one against the US team. They are the best, so to speak, in the world. The fact that we beat the world number 3 and world number 5, does not in any way mean that we cannot, square up to the US. But at the end of the day, whatever happens in that game, I give it to the girls. They are the reigning Afro basketball champions, and then getting to the quarterfinals for the first time for any African nation at the Olympics is for me the highlight of the Olympics as a Nigerian. But when you take a look at the other events, all right, Obrigado lost out from making it to the podium. Same with a few others, right? And then will Samuel Ogazi win in the 400 meters? I'm not too sure. Will the likes of Brume, Ostoro, and Otonogo, make it to the podium? Possibly. We have a chance, when it comes to long jump, with 3 Nigerians making it to the finals, the first time in history, we possibly could get a medal from there. But at the end of the day, I think, just like you said, the Paralympians, our only hopes of getting a medal, in Paris, and it's very unfortunate. If you cast your mind back to the 90s, we saw so many athletes, defecting from Nigeria to other countries to represent other nations, right? We saw that also in the 2000s, and I think we might be at that point again where athletes will look at Nigeria and be like, you know what? I'm not going to kill my dreams, of making it to the podium or winning laurels or medals, competing for this country. I'd rather go to a place where I will be appreciated, where there will be funding, where there will be, some painstaking arrangements and preparations towards games. We like that in Nigeria. If you take a look back if you take a look at home, right, with regards to, preparations for just the local tournament. You hear the sports festival has been moved or postponed due to lack of funding, but then we have a situation where politicians, cut away millions in dollars, and we cannot afford to prepare our talent for major tournaments is a sad one. So I'm enjoying the Olympics, right? Watching other nations who came prepared, winning laurels. You can imagine the sense of pride and patriotism, from Americans, so to speak. Everybody is glued to their TV sets. Most people travel to Paris to watch and cheer the team. It's because of the preparation and the hype they gave it here in America. But in Nigeria, we pay lip service to sports, so to speak. Our local leagues are nothing to write home about. Corruption here and there. Bad officiating here and there. There is no way you will motivate an athlete or a sports person when the organization back home is in shambles. That is our problem. We need to put our ass together. We need to get our house, in order for us to be able to compete outside. People are improving every day. Nations are doing everything within their powers to ensure that their athletes are in top shape before major tournaments. And there's no way you will come to such major tournaments and, think you can outdo them. It's not possible. It's not rocket science. If you prepare well, you compete well. If you don't prepare well, you don't have a chance. You don't stand a chance against the best in the world. We are basically competing against the best in the world, those who prepared very well. Take a look at our athletes. Most of them are in colleges here in the U.S., all right? Their schools sponsor them. For instance, someone like Toby Amuson, right? Without her school here in the U.S., she wouldn't be a world champion. She wouldn't be a world record holder, all right? What can Nigeria say right now that they did to make her career better? Nothing. She had to depend on training, on equipment, on stuff she could get from her school here in the U.S. So that is the problem. We need to really go back home and sit down and ask ourselves questions. What exactly do we want of our younger ones or our talents? What exactly are we doing? I don't think we've been able to answer that question. When we answer that question, then we can, begin to articulate our thoughts, towards preparing for major tournaments. But right now, when it comes to the Nigerian contingent at the Olympics in Paris, it's a disaster.
Before I let you go, I know you got work to do today, and I really appreciate you finding time to have a conversation with us. I know you are an Arsenal fan, and the talks that Arsenal is still in the race for the signature of Victor Osimhen. We've talked on this platform severally about where to go for him, left, right, center, not. Where's your heart, Osimhen? It just feels as though that Napoli is no longer very comfortable. He can't describe Napoli as home anymore. But then there's also this issue of joining a team, finding a spot for yourself, and becoming relevant, or rather integral to that team. That's the situation of a lot of people who have shown so well, in various clubs, and then they move away from there, and it feels like, they were like a flash in the pan and all. So there's been this dragging, and we just have a few weeks to the commencement of the EPL, despite the fact we hear there's been a change in the timetable and all that, and we have most of the preseason tournaments and matches rounding up, but nothing has been said concrete about Victor Osimhen's move or future. For you, what team do you think will suit his playing style and will be able to afford his bills?
Well, Arsenal will still his playing style, but right now, Edu and Arteta are concerned with, shoring up the midfield, right? Marino is in the books, and based on what I heard from Fabrizio, it seems that it's going to be a done deal. Okay, they've agreed personal terms with the player, and they are just setting up paperwork or documentation with the club. So once that is done, I think the next step will be to get a striker. We've been able to start up, the defense line with Calafiori. If the Marino deal is done, then Arsenal will move towards getting a striker. Osimhen is still in their radar, right? Likewise, Victor Gyökeres. These are the two strikers that I know Arsenal are really looking at. Okay, Osimhen's issue is a sad one. And we know the reason why. He could have stayed in Napoli, for one more season, but if you take your mind back to what happened last season, after he helped them win the championship after a very long while. The club, when the new season started, the club really were expecting so much from him. And despite the fact that he played a couple of games great, there was a blunder, a blooper, so to speak, from the media team, on TikTok, brandishing him, with a racist post. And that actually sawed the relationship between the player and the club. He created a lot of buzz online, and trust Nigerians on social media, Twitter, and all that. They took the whole thing, to the next level. They escalated it and cost out Napoli. So that is where it all started, and I knew that at that point it was all done. Osimhen is a great player. There are offers coming from Saudi Arabia. At the end of the day, he will definitely get a club. All right. The other issue is the price tag on his name. It is crazy. It is outrageous. All right. And I don't think any club is going to be willing to pay, 120 or 105, million, pounds for Osimhen right now. Is he worth it? Yeah, of course he is worth it. But if you take a look at last season, he didn't score as much goals as he did, the previous season. So he's not a flash in the pan. Osimhen is a talented striker. He's a great forward. He's one man you want to have in your squad because he's going to do the daily job. He's going to track back. He's going to defend, and he's also going to find a way to bully, your defenders and the opponent's defenders and score. I'm hopeful, right? Edu and Ateta are keeping their cards close to their chest. I don't know exactly who they want to go for, but there's something in me that tells me for them to still open the lines of communication with Napoli. Osimhen could be coming to Arsenal, but I can't say anything for sure right now until the Merino deal is done. Then they can proceed. We still have about a few weeks, before the window closes. Even when after the league starts, at least about a week more, before it closes, all around. So Osimhen will definitely get find a home. All right, but is it going to be Arsenal? I can't say. I'm going to keep my fingers close to my chest.
All right, I hope he doesn't just end up anywhere, hoping that he also gets to play somewhere where he can play to his heart's full content. And yes, we've had you for quite some minutes now. Really appreciate you finding time to have a conversation with us today. And we're hoping that at some other time, probably just before the league starts again, we'll take a look at some of the teams, some of the movement of the players, and see, how they would fit into the various playing styles and, of course, team structures that are already existing in the EPL. Thank you so much for joining us on the program, El Papi.
Thanks for having me, TC.
All right, over. From there, let's let you know that Chelsea manager Enzo Maresca says he's trying to solve the issue his team have of conceding too many goals. So they lost to a very young Real Madrid side in Charlotte in the final match of the United States tour. First half goals from Dani Ceballos and Brahim Diaz just gave Real Madrid enough, despite Noni Madueke's header, as the Blues again looked very vulnerable at the back. So many persons have cursed out that coach, Chelsea coach. Are you one of them?
The coach, he hasn't offended me. He is doing the Lord's bidding.
And it's marvelous in your sight.
I want to say congratulations to them.
To Chelsea.
To them. Whoever decides to take the accolades, it's to them. After Celtic did the do, I had to raise my glasses to them and say, hey guys, well done. You don't just go steal people's coach because you have the money and expect miracles to happen. So it's all good. It's all good.
What a way to put it. Well, Chelsea will face Inter in the final friendly at Stamford Bridge. That's going to be on Sunday before the Premier League opener at home against champions Manchester City. Now, the Premier League has made some changes to the 2024-2025 league season schedule for October. English Premier League had to restructure the league fixtures to benefit broadcast selections in the United Kingdom and to also make room for clubs that expect to compete in the European competition. So you have the UEFA Champions League, you have the Europa League and the Conference League. all next season. So 20 clubs qualified to participate in the 2024-2025 English Premier League, and they'll be playing 38 league games throughout the season. 3 to 4 of those games might be played within October. The new season has been scheduled to start on August 17th and end in May 2025, which means that all 38 games must be played within the said period. So Chelsea are working on a deal to sign Spanish forward Samu Mordion from Atletico Madrid. We hear the Spanish side have agreed an £81.5 million deal to sign.
That's big.
Okay. You want to spend it on
That is big.
So Manchester City forward Julian Alvarez on Monday, and then selling Omordion will help raise funds to buy Alvarez, robbing Peter to pay Paul, you'd say. So we hear that personal terms have now been agreed with Alvarez, who will join for initial £64.4 million, with a further £17.1 million in potential add-ons. Atletico Madrid and Spain have agreed an £81.5 million deal. So that's basically what it is. The fee is made up of an initial 64.4. That's about 75 million euros. So I'm giving you all of the currencies and all, so that you'd you understand and feel where the money. These guys are taking a lot of money, and you wonder, don't they have two legs, just like me or just like you?
No. Let's go with the first line. Just like you. They now proceed further. What was I doing when they were doing their drill?
I was doing what Chike was doing. All right, we'll move on now, real quick. Yes, indeed. Let's let you know that Brighton have made contact with free agent, former Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund defender Matt Hummels, who is 35 and won the World Cup with Germany in 2014. And we hear they could face some competition from West Ham. Let's see how that plays out. Manchester United was also expressed interest. How they late, it's Monaco's 25-year-old France midfielder Youssouf Fofana, who is on the verge of a move to AC Milan. Manchester United, Erik ten Hag has not discounted the deal of United signing Fiorentina's Morocco midfielder Sofiane Amrabat, who spent last season on loan at Old Trafford. You never can tell, it might just be a red. But then Arsenal remain in the race to sign Napoli's Nigerian forward, like I mentioned to you earlier on. Barcelona have reached a verbal agreement on a £47.3 million fee, plus £6 million in add-ons with RB Leipzig for Spain. The attacking midfielder Dani Olmo, and Tottenham are interested in Bournemouth, the forward Dominic Solanke. But a move for the Englishman could be dependent on the future of Brazilian Richarlison, the striker. So you see, someone is waiting for someone to move so that he can displace the person. Crazy times we have. Newcastle is closing in on Guehi. Those are some of the rumors that we have for you today. From there, real quick, we'll move on to sports business because we are practically running out of time on the show. And yes, we're seeing a lot of people put out money for big competitions. Some of the competitions are experiencing investors' funds coming to it. And so just like this one, the Formula One team, Audi, is close to landing a deal with Adidas, the renowned sports shoe company. And that could mark its second agreement in the Formula One market with a major German manufacturer.
Adidas.
Brother to Puma.
Yeah, Adidas. Yeah, we've seen them do some good things in Germany.
Yeah.
We've seen them buy out some people. We've also seen them lose.
Yeah.
When it comes to T-shirts, when it comes to sporting kits, the country we're talking about.
Yeah.
But we won't mention the names. But coming to F1, it's all good.
It feels like a different terrain, right? That's why it's like the second time they're coming in.
Yes.
But it's not. We mostly know them for track and field events.
Track and field,
Yeah.
and also football,
yeah.
A lot of basketball. But coming to F1, they are welcome. Audi, okay, we'll get to see.
Let's get to see. The International Olympic Committee has promised more exposure for top sponsors of worldwide Olympic partners, also known as TOPS. The Olympic partners, of which there are currently 15 of them. They pay an average of $200 million per quadrennium for the right to be associated with the Summer and Winter Games, and that has made it difficult for us to bring you clips, of the Olympics. So it's like an exclusive right to people who have access to this thing.
Yeah, then yes, exclusive, and some were also withdrawing mine.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
because of the controversy
session.
that came with the opening of the Olympics,
Okay,
the
yeah.
ceremony. So several
We
decided
don't.
to
We
say,
never talked about it. Do you want to talk about it? Some of the how do I describe it now? The characters that were on display during that. Some persons described it as characters depicting the end of time, and then there were some characters that were not just good enough to appeal to a large audience.
yes, it's more like when you play to sensibilities of people.
Yes.
You don't go offending people in the name of entertainment or whatever, in the name of whatever you're trying to market. So if it's contravenes or insultive or derogatory to a religion or a tribe or a culture, it's a no-no.
It's not sensitive.
So that's one of the things that were in the forefront in the media space at the opening of Paris Olympic. And several people and brands had to pull.
Yeah.
Our money is not here.
It's a lot of loss. But then Bundesliga International, instead of counting losses and wanting to consolidate, they've agreed to 5 broadcast deals in the sub-Saharan Africa to bolster both its pan-regional and national distribution across free-to-air and pay television. So you might just be seeing a lot of Bundesliga matches in your faces, so don't be surprised. It's the money that has exchanged hands to get to you to ensure that these games are watched by you. Trust Financial Corporation has signed a 7-year agreement with the PGA Tour to become the sponsor of the tour's signature event, which is in Charlotte, North Carolina, United States of America, the US PGA Tour.
Yeah, I think I kind of miss what's happening in PGA. I miss what's happening in tennis.
Everybody's just concentrating on the Olympics.
Yes. For Africans, Kenya, thank you very much. South Africa, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Nigeria, even if it's ash medal, we don't mind.
Get something.
Just come with something.
Anything. So we're staying, let's make up our mind.
Let's go home.
Home is where your heart is. My heart is here.
Let's go home.
So home, yes, is where your heart is. My heart is right here with you. And I want to thank you so much for being on the other end, watching and following me. And of course, I am the governor, Chooks John Rogers, on SOUQ Sports. SOUQ News Television, right here. Follow us, like, subscribe, engage. We want to get your feedback. We're looking forward to reading and writing you back. And so please share and ensure that everybody within your vicinity, your neighbor, your friends are following what we're doing, because we're here to bring you up to speed with what's happening across the globe. So it's economy, it's development, it's business, and yes, it's sports. Chooks?
Yes, thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure. It's like someone that went on maternity leave.
And you're back.
I'll just cross it.
Okay. My name is TC Barra. Many thanks to everyone who is behind the scene, ensuring that you receive us loud, crisp, and clear. Appreciate you guys. And I'll see you soon. Stay safe.